I can create this shin angle so that when I push, I'm going out. Okay? Much more efficient. Much more efficient. Also, when we get to the ball and get ready to hit, do we want our shoulders behind our hips, even with our hips, or slightly in front of our hips? What's a good hitting position? Slightly in front. Look at what we've created. A hitting position. Move to the ball. All right? All right, one more time. So he's going over. Very good. There. Very good. We cleaned that up a little bit, but that's all right. That was very nice. Now, from here, I'm going to show a lateral bound. Stay there. So now, we take this, and now we go into our lateral bound. Push shuffle, so we're coming out. Both feet down again, and then the push. So just our basic lateral bound looks like this. Out, 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 out. Okay? Again, some of the teaching points, we're keeping it down. I tell my players, it's like you're going to bust through the door. When you go to bust through that door, you're going to push into it. You're not going to push up into it. Okay? The differences between the lateral bound and the shuffle are the shuffle, this foot will come up, and then the next one will land. Okay, we want to create an acceleration, deceleration, so that this foot's going to stay down until this one comes down, and then I'm going to push again immediately. So there's a rhythm to it. It's a little bit of a broken rhythm. Shuffling is just a nice rhythm. Okay, a lateral bound, pop, pop, pop. Okay, so before you implement the change of direction, you're going to want to teach just that lateral bound. Now, the lateral bound that goes with this, we're going to go 3 bounds, and on the third one, we're going to open the hip and accelerate out. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we would do it going back the other way as well. Okay? I'll show you that one more time. So we're simply going to go 1, 2, 3. So let's say for the forehand, we go through the hurdles, set of 4. We do a set of 4 bounds over here in the corner. And now, all you're going to do, start in the corner, you're just going to start shuffling. I'm going to give you a dead ball right over there, over and hit. Stay on that side, and then we just come back on the backhand, shuffle, shuffle, oh, shuffle, so show me your recovery, recover, there you go, right there, and hit. Shuffle, and recover. And again, there, pull yourself out. So, again, with that, you can do any number of drills the way you want to do it. And I'll go through, like I said, maybe a set of 4 each way on the bound, 5 balls side to side, 5 balls each way, side to side. We might do 2 or 3 sets of those. Okay? A lot of that will depend on the player, what else we might be doing that day, where they are in their schedule, in their training cycle. But these are the types of things that I will do on the road at tournaments with players. Okay? Just working on those little details. Okay? So, we've got our lateral movement. All right, come on back. Now, unfortunately, we don't always get to just move side to side. Sometimes players are smart and they hit behind us. We don't really like that, but we're going to work on that. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go 3 hurdles, touch, come back 1, and then finish.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. Come on back. That's all right.
Okay. All right.
Start again. So we're going to go 3, 1, 3.
Okay.
So again, our movement through the hurdles is the same idea that we're looking for. All right. What you'll see, and actually I'm impressed you didn't do this one. What we'll see a lot of times is this. We'll get here, we'll put this down, and we'll pick this foot up again. So we're running in place. what we're trying to get is we're trying to teach a little bit of hip abduction. So as I'm coming over the hurdles, if I want to stop and plant and go back this way, I need to abduct or get my hip moving my leg away so that I can stop and come back the other way. And usually what I would do if we're doing this is once you get to the end, you'll just keep going. So let me see you do that, right? Go a couple of times, just 3, 1, 3, and then repeat it coming back the other way.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, touch, keep going.
And then this way.
There you go. 3, back 1. Back 1.
Back again.
3, now back 1. Now finish the other way to your left. Good. Okay, so we go through there 3, 4 times this way. All right, now with the lateral bound that's going to go with this, what we're going to do is, we're going to go 3 bounds, and on the third one, we're going to plant and then open up, coming back the other way. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and open the hip. Now, this is not a big push coming back the other way. So when we land, we're not trying to load up and then go back very far. Speed is the key here. We need to be able to plant and get off of that foot quickly. Again, one of the things that we're going to look for is how the knee points in the direction of the movement, coming back the other way. The hip then opens, the shoulder stays down. We don't want to be here and pop up. We want to be here and just open. All right? So when we put it together, 1, 2, 3, and back. All right, so we'll go 3 or 4 times there. Back to the baseline. And we do it just on the forehand. So you can start with your recovery. Once you get to the middle, I'm just going to give you a ball back out to your forehand again. So we're going to do 4 in a row. So we're going out to the forehand, you recover. There it is. Comes back, recover, comes back behind. 1 more time. Very good. So we'll do to the forehand, then we'll go over and do to the backhand. Come back here again. 3, 4, 5 sets of each one. Okay? 1 more that we're going to go with from these. And now we're going to add the drop step. Okay? And when we see the drop step, I see 3 major issues. 2 of them are footwork related, and we're going to talk about those today. We're going to talk about those right now. And a little bit later, I'll talk about the third one, which has to do with loading. All right? So now, what we're going to do is, we're going to come out of the hurdle, get all the way out again. Now, instead of opening up to come here, we're going to step back about 135-degree angle, cross over, and plant. So it's going to look like this. You get out, drop step, back and plant. Okay. All right? There. Pretty good. Pretty good. Again. There. All right? How do you look?
Good.
Pretty good. Pretty good. There's always things that we can clean up, but that's all right. That looks good. Getting that hip open and being able to step back. This is why we spend a lot of time working on hip mobility. Okay? For the drop step, for the lateral bound, what we're going to do now is we're going to go 3. And if I'm moving to my right for a forehand, I'm going to plant and then open back up to the backhand. And I'll show you why we do it this way. So we're coming out, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and open. Here's what we're looking for. We are looking for the ability to decelerate, control the body, and create space. That's why this drop step is so important, because we need to be able to create space. What we will see oftentimes is this. We will see on that third one, drifting back. And you can see I've come more than 90 degrees. Our goal is going to be 45 degrees. Okay? So if a player especially is upright, if their balance is off, if they're not able to properly decelerate here, it will look like this as they try to step back. Okay? And certainly, let me be clear, certainly there are times where you will make that full move just to create enough space, but for the training, for what we're trying to do here, we want it to be here. Okay? Again, you'll notice that we're trying not to pop up. We're trying to just plant and open. All right? So we do our hurdles, then we do our lateral bounds, then we come on back. So now, let's do these up before. We'll start here, and what you're going to do is you're just going to start to recover, and I'm going to give you a ball back. All right? Come on up closer. Go ahead. Start to recover. Recovery. Open. There. Go back to here. Now recover. There you go. Step back. Hit. This way. Again. Right there. Good. Good. One more that I like to do with these. Now let's just use half the court right here. Come on up just inside the baseline. And just play these back to me. Okay? So we get a push back, and then we'll bring them up, and then we'll push them back. Let that bounce. Let that bounce. Try that out. There we go. There. Coming up. Coming up. There you go. Now, there. Good. Up the rope. Step back. Let it bounce. Create that space. So that's a live ball drill that we would do. Okay? So, that's our plyo hurdles, our lateral bounds into dead ball, live ball, point play, any number of things. All right? Now, to move to the next one. Again, still with our lateral movement. So we're going to set our thumbs up. I usually do about 7 cones. Coming across the court. Okay, no rack. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our lateral ground stroke drill. So you're going to come here, throw the medicine ball, so you're going to catch, and throw back, circle the cone, and then go to the next one. Catch, throw back, just one, and you're just going to work your way right on across.
So I bounce it to you.
No. This one, again, this one's very light. You will use the appropriate ball, both for the age, fitness level, skill level of the player, again, as well as where they are in their cycle. Okay, so I'll do this with a pro player. I might use a 15-pound medicine ball, but that's now in December. Okay, if we go out to a tournament or just before a tournament, we're going to cut that ball down. In fact, we may not even use the ball. We might just go with our shadow stroke. All right, so we're going here. There you go. Good, good. So you got your movement around the cone, loading and back, opens the hip. Very good. One more. There. Very good. Very good. All right. Again, a lot of different ways that we do this one. That one was just the straight across. Sometimes we might do 2 forehands back for a backhand, 2 forehands back for a backhand. Okay, a lot of different variations. Now, we're going to do the same movement. You're just going to use your rack. So now we go from the plyometric to the shadow. Go ahead. Goes right there. Opening. One of the important things too, one of the reasons that we use the cone, notice where he is when he hits. He's forward, forward. We're teaching forward to the ball. Very good. You can see, this is also a good cardiovascular workout. And now, we're going to go starting here. And I'm just going to do a little soft toss right back to the baseline. So I'm just going to do a little soft toss just to your right. You'll hit, give just a little shuffle back in front of me, and we're just going to work together, working our way back on across. 25 years, I've never been hit. Alright, so we move here, and now we start back a little bit. There you go. Good. There you go. Touch back just a little. There, forward. Good hit. One more. There. So we've gone from the plyometric with the ball to just the tennis movement with the shadow stroke, okay, to the feet, to the hand feet. All right, so our lateral ground stroke drill, done 3 different ways. Again, if you want to do any number of drills that you do that are baseline movement, it's perfect, okay? I need some water? No. All right, send it an offer. Might not hear that again. Come on. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to use.
This is the one you want to use? Yeah. All right.
Did you film some at the start? Did you film some at the start?
I'm gonna have to
At the start, so.
Okay, thanks.
Richard,
Yes.
when you had to go through the hurdles, you said if the heel comes up to the butt, is the quad activated?
If it comes up this way, I mean, you can see this is what I'm doing. I'm activating it. This is doing nothing now.
Hamstring is involved, it's the quad.
Exactly, and that's what we don't want to have. Every tennis player that has come to me, regardless of age, ability level, fitness level, whatever, every one of them has come to me quad dominant. So what we spend a lot of time doing is making them glute dominant. This is where we want to be. We want everything firing in the right order. And even we do a lot of body weight exercises that activate that. And we spend a lot of time talking about the heel. And we talk about this, last year we were talking about how much movement is actually heel toe. And it's important when we get in a few minutes to the loading aspect as well. Because if we're loading on the heel, we're gonna have more force driving up into the stroke. So if it comes up to here, but it comes up this way, that's what we're looking for.
So is the hamstring involved in that or not?
In this?
Yes.
No. No. It's an opposing muscle group. So if I'm doing this, I'm totally activating here, and this is simply contracting. I mean, it's active. It's not active in the way that we want it. That's the way you want it to. But you'll see it from there, because you'll see players and they do this. Exactly. And that's why when we do butt kicks in our dynamic warm-up, we do them this way, so that we are actively pulling this up. So now when we take that to the hurdle, it looks like this. So you can see I'm still getting my heel up towards my hip, but the knees are the key. If the knees stay together, this isn't what we want. Okay? Yes?
So in every sport, I mean, we're hearing about being on your toes, on your toes, on your toes,
Sure.
but we're not activating the glutes and the hams, which are the two strongest.
That's
Activate your heel, now you got ladies running on the back of the, you know.
It depends on the specific movement. If you see a player, put it this way, if you move 4 steps across the court, does that look right? No. That's all on my toes. So the part of being on the toes is here into your split. Even then into your first step out, that's where we start to see the heel down. And also you can see from here, you can't stop when you're here, and you can't load properly as well.
So should we say get on your toes, or should we say bounce more?
Bounce more. So when you're here and then you go into your split, that's what we're looking for. But the movement to the ball, as I circle the ball, I want to use my forehand. You see, it's still coming down. And then as you go to hit, it's going to be a heel toe, driving up to it. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
My strap in.
Probably use this with 7-year-old.
So, now
all these exercises.
Now, all we're going to do is stay right there. We can do 2 cones.
I'll break the column. I'll
Here.
do that.
Out. Forehand. And walk out there. Walk out. Keep going. Keep going all the way to the cone. All the way to the cone. There you go. Okay, come on back. So, what we're going to do now is I'm going to resist from the side. You're going to go out, do a shadow stroke, come around the cone with your recovery, back here, split step, and go again. Okay? So let's do 4 of them. Okay. Go ahead, go. Around the second side. There. And then keep going. Yeah. Just keep going.
That's second.
There you go, recovered. Okay, that's good. All right, now, step out. So what we're doing, we're working on this from a first step standpoint. So I'm resisting him as he goes out. As I'm resisting him, what's he most likely naturally going to do? To pull against the bungee, he's going to drop into it. He's going to lean out into it. This is what we're trying to create. We want to create this. All right? Step out of take the whole thing off. So now, we'll come out. Now do it again without the bungee. So now he's going to go into the shadow motion. And what you'll see, because of the bungee, is now we've created this shin angle that we've been looking for. We're creating this push off the opposite leg. Okay? If we're going to the right, we're pushing from the left. Newton's law. See it again. We're getting that first step explosiveness. All right? We can expand that into both sides. We've already read. So now we can expand that. We're going to go with the split step here, just a simple figure 8 drill. So we're going to split step, accelerate out, come around it, split step again, accelerate out, and come around it. And again, we're really just focusing on this first step. Okay, coming out, lean, and accelerate. Around. So, we might do 30 seconds with the bungee, 30 seconds without it, or if we don't do the 30 seconds, if we put them together, we might do a sequence of 12, 14, 16 of these moves. I also like to do the mystery set. The mystery set could be 2, or it could be 25. So be careful if I ask you if you want to do the mystery set, because you don't know what it's gonna be. And then we'll just add. There you go. Again, we'll just add a simple dead ball feed, simple hand feed. Because we're working on the first step, we may go a little farther away. All right, it's going to be out here. Straight out, straight out. Ready? Go. We've got to get out there. Cover, now let it get back. Go. Looking for that explosion coming out. More. There. Watch the bungee right there. I'll show you one more that I like. Remember when you start there, let's just move that out. You can move that cone there as well. So now we're going to start. I tell you what, do this. Let's start on the deuce side. Start on the deuce side, on the baseline. So I'm just going to give you a forehand. You're going to come back to me with it. I'm just going to volley it off into the open court. Okay? I'm going to put them out here. Sorry. Put them out here. Make a move.
Get back to you.
Easy. And make it a little bit harder for them. So we can see this first step again. And again, you can change the volley. You can bring it here. You can work on cutting the ball off, coming across. But we're getting that first step acceleration here. First step acceleration. All right? And again, we might put all of the plyometric ones and the footwork ones together without the ball yet, do 15 minutes, and then go into ground stroke games. All right? Now, come on up. We're going to leave your racket. So now, you don't need your racket. We're going to go back to the medicine ball. So now we've got 3 cones. It's similar to what we did before, but this time we're going to work on our different footwork patterns. If I ask you, which do you prefer? Which do you teach? Open stance, neutral stance, or closed stance forehand? The answer that I would like to hear is, it depends. Footwork is situational. There are times when you want to step into the ball with a square stance. There are times when hitting an open stance shot is preferable. Okay? Too often we get players too tied up into trying to make their footwork fit the ball when it's not there. And one of the things that I've found is if you let them go, they will figure a lot of it out on their own. Okay? Probably the biggest exception to that, and this is something that's going to be at a higher level, is you'll still get a lot of players that want to try to close their stance deep in the corner on their backhand. And that's one where we're going to try to open their stance. But now we've got 3 different shots. So we're starting here. Come on up right to the cone. So we're going to go here, and then we cover all the way back. Here, and then all the way around. Okay? And just throw your knee. Yep. Now, here's where we're going to see it. You ready? So we're right here. Now you're going to come up when you recover. Come in front. Come all the way back around. Okay? Here we go. So we're here. Cover all the way back. Now you're going all the way out. Good. One more. Now all the way out here. There you go. Again, here. And you can see it there. No crossover. Crossover. One more time. Coming out. On the move. All right? Now, grab your racket. So now we're going to do the same thing, just doing the shadow, and we'll see the differences. Okay? Sometimes when we add this, I like to take this last one and move it up a tad. Right? Now we're creating a hook on the end of the run. Okay? We do not move in straight lines. We move curving our runs to create space for the shot, to create space to recover. And especially like this, now we're going to work on that where we get the angle cut off. But if we're moving, even if we cut the angle off, if we come from here, if we cut this angle off straight in a straight line, you're not getting yourself in a position to recover. You're also not getting yourself in a position to really get your hips around into the shot. All right? All right, go ahead. So you're going to do the same 3. Go ahead. Right here. Right there. Shadow, and then the recovery. There you go. One more. Very good. Stop. Very good. What do we see? What do we see on this last one? He did a mogul step and opened his stance. He did it quite well. We also saw that after the 3rd one, he crossed over to recover. He didn't do that from here. You're going to hit from here and then cross over. You don't need to. You have time. Again, that goes back to our footwork being situational. Okay? So, we take these, and then what we would do is simply feed 3 balls in the 3 different ranges. Okay? We also do these to the backhand. We also do these inside out. I want to show you guys. Come on over here. Now we're really going to put that hook at the end so that we're angled forward. Unless your last name is Nadal, we're not getting out here very often and a straight run and then getting around and working forehand. Okay? So again, our footwork is going to change. For this first one, right here, we'll just step back and around and head. For this second one, we have a little farther to go, so we're going to take a big step back. We're really going to open up and get around. For this third one, and obviously that's a slow moving ball, especially at my age, but the first step here very often will be in front. So we'll step here, here, and then get the hips around. And again, if this is something, if you have a young player and you tell them, I'm going to give you this slow ball, get out there and hit a forehand. Very often, they do it this way first, and they don't get there, they'll figure it out. Again, let them develop athletically a little bit on their own. Try not to overcoach the athleticism. Try not to overcoach the athleticism out of them. Okay? So, we would do the same drill. I'll let you rest.
I was going to do it.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. So, we're going to go same way. Go ahead. And he's around. Now he's going to step back. Wanted to see a little bit more of a step back that time. Get in front. There. So, if I was working with him, and we saw it here, he did a good job getting the crossover to the front here, but then this is a little narrow. So, we probably want to work on opening the hips a little bit more and getting that position, getting a step back. As we go into a live ball or into a dead ball with this one of the things I like to do is volley from the net and just put them here and say, hit a forehand, hit a forehand. You can start from here and give them a ball in this area. And one of the things that you're going to see, especially with female players, is they tend to run right at the spot. So if this is where the ball is going to be on contact, you will see female players, for some reason, do this. They will go right to that spot, and then they have to get out of the way of it. What we want to see is this development of the hook to the run. We want to come to the side and circle that ball. Create that space. Create the space as we're coming to it. Okay? And you see that a lot, especially as the players move forward. Especially as they move forward and try to use the forehand, or if they're rushing, they try to use the backhand. But they'll go to the spot and then have to bail out. We want to create that space first. All right. Any questions so far? Okay, we're going to go to our ground stroke loading. All right, come on up here. Come on up here. This is going to be a little less taxing. So, first one that we're going to do is we're going to start with the band, and we're going to do an isometric hold. So the way the band is set up is the load will be from the back. We do this a lot. We do this a lot also with the return to serve things that we do. So all we're going to do is we're going to take this stance. I'll show you the back end so you can see better. We're going to take this stance down. I want to see the quad down parallel to the ground, arms out, and just a very small pop. So what happens is when it comes back, the band is trying to pull me back. So what we're developing is the strength in the hip to hold that position. We're developing that strength in the hip to hold that position as we come back. We see this a lot on the return of serve. We see this a lot on the first ball after the serve. So we finish down into the court. That ball comes right back at you. We take that quick drop step, planting, and we have to have that strength to stay down. One other thing is we're developing this lean so that we don't get knocked back. If I'm in a position here where my hip my knee and my ankle are all in alignment, I'm gonna be a little upright. And when I hit that ball then, it's gonna knock me back. I'm gonna pop up. So we're developing that hip isometric strength. Very small pops. We're not looking for a lot of rotation. All we want is the tension into the band that would pull me back. I develop this position where I can hold it. With the advanced players, we'll put this foot down onto a balance pad. Again, the unstable surface making it that much more difficult to hold that position. So we're here, and we're into this position, and we'll hold this for 30 seconds. Now, Brian, let me see you get that position. Right there, just this open stance here. There you go. Now take the ball. You got a break because I brought my my travel ball is only the 2-pounder. Now, simply hold it and reach in front. There, there, hold it there. Notice his posture, looks pretty good. All right, so he's in a good alignment. And again, we're just developing the strength to stay down. There are times where we want to stay down with our shot. Okay, so we'll have him hold that for 30 seconds. Very good. All right. Come on over here. Right here. So since we just did the backhand, we'll do the backhand. Come on up away from the hurdles a little bit. There. All we're going to do is, you're just going to shuffle out. I'm going to give you a little toss. You're going to catch and load, and then just toss it back to me and recover. Okay? Just very right here. Just that load, and right back. There. You don't have to go that low with it. So one of the things that we're looking for now, and we won't see it with the 2-pound ball, but we're looking to see if we can hit this position with a good angle. We're also looking to see if the upper body collapses, okay? So if we come out and we see this, obviously that's an issue. We want to be able to, again, decelerate under control, all right? Let's see it again over here on the floor. So we just out, we load, then come back. There you go. Good, one more time. Did anyone happen to see what his load looked like on the last one? I'm going to show you. Where was it? It was pulling him to his right. Okay? And I'm going to show you why. And this is one of the things that I look for. When he caught and loaded, he got out here. See the heel up? The heel was up. This is now into his quad. This is very weak. This is also very dangerous for the knee. Okay? Because the next move from there is what? Once we load, we unload. We want that unloading to be forceful. If we're out here, and now I can't get that heel back now, so I've got to push up into the shot from my toes, from the ball of the foot, which means I'm pushing from the quad. So not only am I now leaning and a little off balance, okay, now I'm not able to generate as much force coming up as I can from here. So what we want to see is heel, toe, able to stop that and then generate it. We have movement this way, we need to stop that and transfer that up into the shot. One of the things that we do now too is I will do that with a player and I will call out to them which way I want their movement to be for the hit. So for example, we should be able to come out here and plant and come forward into the hit. We may continue laterally into the hit. We may come straight up into the hit. We may drop back into the hit. And if we're here, we're going to have a hard time doing that effectively. Okay? So, you know what you just did. Let's see if you can correct it. So we move out. See it come up just a little bit.
Oh, I did it again.
Ah, you felt it now. Better. One more time. Better. Important too that he was able to say that before I said anything. And it's like this. It's like this with stroke production or anything else. You can tell them every time. You know, you can take a player and their issue is they're too close to the ball in their forehand. And you can feed them 100 forehands. And every one of them you can say, that was good. You were too close. That was good. You were too close. But if they can't feel it, it doesn't mean anything to them. We can show it to them. We may slow it down. Okay? That time, I showed it to them. Oh, wait, that's not right. That's not what I want to be. Because that's how the correction will come. The correction will come when the player can feel it. Okay? So, that's our basic loading. Now we're going to go into our drop step. And I mentioned before that we have 3 issues. 2 of them are footwork related. So I'm going to come back and show you what we see. First of all, a lot of players struggle doing the drop step properly, and it's very important because most players move better going out to the ball than they do getting out of the way of the ball. And we need to develop this motion, this ability to create a little space, but then to still hit the ball offensively. So there are times where we will drop step and continue back and play a defensive shot or a neutralizing shot, but we also want to be able to plant, create a little space, and then drive into it. I mentioned I was watching that U.S. Open final, and on one of the break points, I think it was in the 3rd set, that Nadal saved. He was love 40 down, and the first one, he got his serve in, and the return was pretty good, deep to his forehand, and he stepped back and hit a screaming winner down the line. Okay? That came from him being able to drop step, get into a good position to then hit an offensive shot, even though his momentum was going backwards. Okay? So, with our drop step, the 2 issues. One, the wrong foot moves. So on the forehand, the right foot, and this is what we were working on, should open up. Okay, what I see a lot of is this. The left foot moves. Now look at my feet. See how close together my feet are? Now I'm standing up. Okay, so now I've just done an inefficient move. Especially if we're talking about coming out of a serve, the ball's hit right back at you, and you're trying to get out of the way quickly. Okay, so the wrong foot moves. The second issue is both feet move into basically another split step. So what we'll see is this and this. Well, we're facing this way. We're not loaded in any way, shape, or form. We haven't turned the shoulders, or the hips and shoulders have turned, but they're not loaded. So when we set up to hit a shot, the shoulders are turned more than the hips. We're creating that stretch, that load, and then we release that. Okay? So when you see this, you haven't gone anywhere. You haven't put yourself in much better position to get to where you're going or to be ready to hit the ball. So those are the 2 footwork issues. The third issue is this idea of loading, and what we see is this. We see the load, and the hip, the knee, and the ankle are all in alignment. And again, that's going to create this. Okay? We want to be able to plant with the hip, the knee, inside of the ankle, and then open up into it. If we're continuing our motion, it's still the same. I'm going to go plant, crossover, plant again, and then hit. All right? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take bungee again. We're going to split step, drop step low. Going split and drop. And again, I'm looking for this. Okay? We don't want to be here. All right? Shoulders are level. And I'm here. Notice where I've brought my hands. Where I'm going to bring my hands as I make that move back. There's my loop. Right there. Hands are away. I'm going to create that same position here. And again, notice where I am here. I'm loaded here. My heel is now up off the floor. and I'm in a good hitting position. So we're gonna go with our loading, and we'll do maybe 15 of those, okay? Again, one thing too, make sure that you get the split step every time. Split step, drop. Split step, drop. All right? Now we're gonna take our medicine ball. Are you ready? Okay. So, the first one is pretty simple. I'm gonna give you the ball. Come on up here into the alley. All we're going to do now is you're going to do a lunge here and then square back up. There. Keep going and then work it back this way. Just keep working back. Right there and up. Keep going. Yep. Right there. So we've got our step back. Pretty good position. Onto his toes a little bit too much again. On his left foot when he steps back to the backhand. All right? Good. So our drop step lunge. Very simple. Just right back and here. Now, come on up. Now we're going to add a dynamic portion to it. So now we've got the same beginning motion, but now you're going to drive up and into it. Not throwing it yet.
Okay.
That's next.
Okay.
Go ahead. So he steps back and up. Keep going. There. One of the things too that we want to see, hold on, is I want to see hitting this bottom position and then exploding out of it. Okay, so we develop the isometric strength because we need that, but what we don't want to do is get down here and pause. Okay, go ahead. So he steps back and up. There, keep working your way back. There, keep coming up. Because oftentimes, as we go back to hit the ball, we're going to then open up, accepting the ball that's coming right back to us hard and flat on the baseline. Generally, that ball is going to be in our upper strike zone. Okay, that's part of why we're having to back up in the first place. Okay, so because that ball's in our upper strike zone, we want to be able to load and then come up into it. A lot of times, if you're going farther back, that foot, you may open all the way up and step back as you hit. So this is what we're developing, is that explosiveness coming up. All right? Now, we're going to add the toss. So I'm going to toss it. He's going to catch and flip it back to me, and we're just going to come on up a little bit closer. We're going to work our way back, alternating. So we're going back. There. There. Keep going. Don't stop at the bottom. Okay. One more. There. Okay? So we're just working our way back. We're working our way back. Okay? Let's see that one again. One more time. Just a couple. Ready? Yeah. So we're here. There you go. That's it. That's it. Right there. Good. Good. All right. So now, that was very good. Now, Ryan, what we're going to do is we have a 3-step movement. Move these out of the way. Come on, Rafa. So, what you're going to do now is you're going to go drop step, crossover plant, and hit. Okay. Drop step, crossover plant, go back for the backhand. There. There. Okay, now, what did we see on that last one? Well, first of all, we want to make sure that coming out of it, that we get into our split step. Okay? And what he did is what I see a lot of on the court. And it's the same principle involved of what we talked about, trying to get around this short ball and use your forehand. Okay? What would happen was he opens, comes here, and then has to bail out coming backwards again. So what we want to be able to do is get here and get back into the ball a little bit more. Okay? And a lot of players have trouble spatially. All right? And that is an issue. So now what we can do is we can say, we can look at that because we're doing it without the ball and say, here's the issues with the movement. Okay? What I would say is the issue was not able to quite open the hip far enough. So we work on that. Now we put that in, and again, any number of drills that you can do, taking the ball back. One of the things I like to do too is I like to have my players start inside the baseline, and they're not allowed to back up more than one step past it. So you put the deep ball there, and they have to get back in one step, just create a little bit of space, and then up into the hit. Okay? Again, I can't emphasize enough how important this particular footwork is, this drop step footwork, because a lot of players really do struggle with it. The ball gets into them, they have no, you see this all the time, and I'm talking about at higher levels too. They get here and they have no turn, they have no position to hit, and they can't do anything with the ball, and then they're bailing out as they go to hit. All right? I want to show you guys this on the return serve. And a return of serve is probably the most under-practiced shot that we have. So, just a couple of really simple drills. And what we're going to do, try to put this around your waist. Yep, with your right, so just come right up into the baseline. We're going to do this drill, and we're going to do it resisted, and then we're going to do it assisted. And we're really working on two different things. Come on up, turn that way like you're ready to return serve. So you're going to return that wide serve. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to resist him from behind. What you're going to do is you're just going to split step, step back, hit that return, low to the inside, and then cross over to recover. Okay? Go ahead. So I've got him resisted, coming back, so just, hold on, turn to serve. So just the one shot, slide out a little bit farther to your right. There you go. Now give me your split step, step out on that wide ball, and recover. So, at a higher level, we usually don't get the opportunity to put that foot down. So what we're working on is more of a power step. So we're here, stepping out and hitting. All right, so let's see that one this time. Go ahead. There you go, and recover. Serves a little wider than that, you gotta get out farther. What did we see that time? Staying open. How often do we have the chance to do that? Not that often. Go ahead, let's try one more time. There is what we're looking for. And then the recovery. Go ahead, do a couple more of those. Try it again. It's all right there. There. So our first day is going to be getting this. So now we're creating that lean, okay, and that drive out. So when we're resisting him from behind, we're working on the explosion to get out to the ball, okay? There's a little bit of an element of then, as he recovers, we're pulling him back, okay? That's not as important. So let's try this one more time. So what we might do is, we would do 4 with the band. Go ahead. Step out, split step, and now you're going to have to cross over. So you cross over. That's all right. So follow me. So here, we step here, out to the hit, and then recover. Go ahead. There, and then to recover. One more time. There. Now, what we would have them do is, we'd have them do maybe 4 times with the band, and then 4 times without it. Okay? And then we'd go side to side. We'd do maybe 4 or 5 sets each way, do side and add side. We're developing that explosion as he pulls through the band. Now, I'm going to reverse it. Same position, same move, only this time I'm going to be pulling you towards me. So when you do this, all right, you're going to come straight towards me. Ready? Go ahead. There. Very good. Now, You can see what happened to him. First of all, I got the footwork that time.
I did, yeah.
What did we notice at the end?
You move forward after.
Move forward. He was what?
A little bit out of balance.
A little bit out of balance. Did you hear the slide? Okay. I use this assisted drill before players go play on clay and before they go play on grass. It gets really slick out here, and what we're working on now is deceleration. Okay? And deceleration is so important. This is where the deceleration phase is where injuries occur. Okay? I'm sure that this morning while I was on the plane, and Mark was talking about the serve, he was talking about being able to decelerate the arm properly through the completion of the serve. That is where injuries occur. Speaking as someone who blew out their rotator cuff in college, I know that. Okay? This is where we get injured. We also have to work on our deceleration with our movement. Why? What is he trying to do here? He's having to change direction. He's having to get to here, stop, and get back into the court. We cannot change direction at full speed. We have to be able to effectively and efficiently decelerate. I can tell you that Andy Murray works on deceleration more than he works on acceleration. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one again. Very good. You might want to, if you're doing this one, by the way, get down low. All right, go ahead. We've got a split step coming right towards me. There, now, that's all right, that's good. Because now we can see when he finishes, he's landing this way. He's landing with his weight even. We want the weight to the inside. Now we use this leg, we're going to cross over from there, so it's going to look like this as we recover. Okay, so this is what we're working on. So we put him in the band, we assist, we pull him, we force him towards us, making him stop and hit that good position. Then we take it off, have him do it without, getting here, and then recovering. Okay? I will also, and like for that, if a player has a little issue with it, I would probably have him hold that position. Get out here and hold on that leg. Okay? I would do that first without the band. Second, I would do it resisting him. And third, I would do that assisting, pulling him towards me and getting him to stop here. Again, a lot of times, the issues with that deceleration are hip stability issues. That's where your band work, your monster walks, etc. A lot of the work that we do, working on the gluteus medius, which is the outside muscle here on your hip, that's why we do that. Okay? And I mentioned earlier, if it doesn't apply to something you do on the court, why are we doing it in the gym? I don't care if you can bench press 350 pounds. Is that helping him on the court? Most likely not. But, and especially in his case, if I put him down on the floor with a stability ball, with a Swiss ball behind him, and have him roll the ball up and down the wall, he's now activating his gluteus medius. He's getting this stronger. He's getting it more mobile. It's going to make him, it's going to help him stop and change direction better. Okay? So that's how we put it all together. That's how it goes from the gym to the court. Okay? So this drill, again, and especially to go play on grass, because the outside of the courts get a little slick. A lot of clay courts, especially nowadays, the clay courts that are the underground system, they tend to get a little slicker towards the outside. This drill right here will help your players immensely. Help them get out here, and not just, by the way, we do it in a closed motion here with the return of serve specifically, but we also do this. This will also help them just getting out wide and hitting, and then being able to recover. Okay? One more that I want to show you guys quickly. And this is on the approach shot. You can just set your racket down there. That's the ball. So one of the things that we want to develop, through this transition area is speed. We want speed and power as we come through here. All right? And so it's a very simple drill of coming forward. You're going to throw the medicine ball to me. Starting just inside the baseline. Just inside the baseline. So now you're going to come forward using your footwork that you would use to attack. When you get here, you're going to give me a throw, come forward into a split step, and then back pedal back, and I'm going to throw the ball back to you, and you do it again on the back knee. Word of warning, when you work with better players who use heavier medicine balls than this, be very careful. Alex Bogomolov almost broke my finger doing this a few years ago. So, coming forward, right there, right through, there. Now back pedal, there you go. Back, coming up on the backhand. There, good. And back. So we go through, probably 4 each way, 8 total. We can look at a couple of things with the footwork. One of the things that I'd like to see is as we come up that on this ball where we're coming forward and we're hitting off of that front leg, this back leg should come up a little bit. Okay, we're keeping it in a better position. So then you can take that, again, 4 to each side, then I go over on the other side, or maybe grab your racket. I just do a little hand feed right here. All right, ready? Coming up, go, coming up, attack, there you go, back pedal, coming up again, you're staying on the forehand, there you go, back, just like that. All right, racket down. So now, what I want you to do this time is you'll continue forward, and when you get up here, we're going to do a split step. And then I want you to go into a low volley, down, and just flip the cone over. And then you'll back up and go again. He's got 6 cones. He can do them in any order. Doesn't matter. Normally what we would do is we would do a set where he's doing all forehand approaches and the 6 volleys. Then he's going to do all backhand approaches, and then he would do alternate. Okay? So let's do just the forehand. So you're throwing to me, coming up, get your split step, go ahead. So we're looking for speed through the transition. Now, what happened?
Overran.
I didn't split. Didn't split. All right, let's try that one again. Coming up, go ahead. Right there. Did it again. That's all right. Slow it down. Take your time. Split step. And down into that nice low volley and flip the cone over. Go ahead. Coming up. A little speed. There. Okay. Got it that time. What could have been better?
Man, I could have got lower.
Why couldn't you get lower?
The split wasn't wide enough.
Split step what?
Wasn't wide enough.
Wasn't
Wide enough.
wasn't wide enough?
Too high, yeah.
It was too straight. And then I'm going to show you from here. We mentioned earlier that a lot of players have trouble sometimes spatially. All right? And I'm a little bit taller. So here's my splits. I'm going to come right down to this cone. That doesn't look very good. Look at how narrow my step is for a low ball.
Shouldn't your knee go lower?
Further away from it.
Further away.
Farther away from it. So now I need to be here so that I can get down into this position. Okay? So again, this is a way, and this is a great drill for kids. Because of that, we can teach them that spatial relationship. We can teach them how to move and understand that I need to be here so that I can do this down at the bottom. Okay? Now, you got your cue. Let's see how it goes this time. It's coming up. Power through here. That's footwork. He went into, here we go. One more time. He went into the squat that time rather than the lunge. So we're going to look for the lunge this time. Coming up. Right there. Split. There. Still a little bit close. Let me see you do this one. So you're coming straight at me, and then you're going to do that cone. Okay. This one out. Go ahead. Coming up. There you go. There. What was wrong with it? Why? Bending from the hips because we can't take that stride. Okay? So again, we're working on that spatial relationship. From that point, any number of approach drills, volley drills, approach and play it out that you want to do is great. Again, that's a good, you can see, that's a good cardio drill as well. Okay? One quick note too, as we do things like that, we want them to be time relevant. Okay? So like for this drill, 6 is enough. That's a lot of movement. Okay? The time that it will take me to then work the cones back over, give some instruction as to what I'd like to see different, or say that was exactly what we're trying to do. That's going to be 25, 30 seconds. Then we have them do it again. What is that? Time between points. The way I set up the program is most everything we do, whether it's in the gym, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's on the court, we do things in blocks of about 7 to 12 minutes. 7 to 12 minutes with the 30 seconds or so built into the break. Why 7 or 12 minutes?
2 games.
2 games. Now go get water. You got 2 minutes. There's your changeover.
Can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
When I did like the volley, do you, sometimes like I see the top players, they'll drag their back,
Yes.
go, and then go.
Yes.
So that's okay?
That's okay from here. From here, and again, very quickly, one of the other things that we would work on for you is that deceleration. Deceleration, that eccentric strength. So again, when you put the program together, put it together that's time relevant, especially as you get close to tournaments. If you've got kids, if you're doing something before the Georgia qualifier, before Southers, you have a camp going on with your kids that are going to that, especially then, right before, everything should be timed out that way. Okay? Even your on-court drill should be timed out that way. Okay? Also, just as a point of reference, our program, we do tennis-specific footwork 2 to 3 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. That's how important it is. So when Marcus says that what I do is movement rather than muscles, that's what we're doing. That's why we're doing it. We're putting everything together. We are integrating what we do in the gym, what we do with our movement, what we do on the court. Everything goes together because it only matters if it comes out as they play. Anybody have any questions?
The one-handed backhand, as you're going through the loading phase with the medicine ball and the stretched band, what would you
I will still do just that load because we're working more on this part. So if I'm hitting a one-handed backhand, I'm still loading in a similar fashion to that. Even as I just step out, plant, load, and then back into it. And if you're loading here, you're still in a bad position. So you can do it the same way.
You said during, if a kid is doing this exercises 3 times a week, and they go for a tournament, 1 week tournament usually, they probably won't do the exercise. But
No.
if they're going for a 3 or 4 week
Yes.
straight tournament,
Yes.
during the summer they're going to the nationals
Yes.
and all that. So they keep on doing the routine.
Yes.
And they stay on the routine.
When I travel with a player, and we'll be, like that 3-4 weeks at a time, we will do maybe a scaled down version. A lot of that, and a lot of that depends on what they've done. I do programs for players to take when they're on the road. Player comes to me and says, I'm going to be gone for the next 4 weeks at tournaments. What do? I do not give them a program and say, here's what you're doing. I have to communicate with them, and it's very easy. Even when they're international, I communicate with them by text messages, WhatsApp. I can Skype with them. I can email with them. I need to know how many matches have you played? How taxing were the matches? What kind of gap do you have? Do you have 6 days before you play again? Do you have 2 days before you play again? And that's how we'll put it all together. And so what we would do in that case, usually if we're on the road and we have, let's say 3 days, 4 days, we would eliminate any of the loading phases, and we would just do the footwork drills.
Okay.
We
Now-
would do them that way.
Now, what if it's an easy match today, was a blowout, 0-0, and then tomorrow morning's match should be all right, but the evening match is going to be like really crazy. So like today, I mean, does she just play half an hour, or he or she just
A lot of that'll depend on what you've seen. If there a lot of times, if